Wow, check that halo effect out. That is something. So, hi. I found about 90% of a video material on one thing that you reloaders, you very, very beginning reloaders could buy even before you buy a press, while you're still doing your researching, getting your books and everything. And it would be a hand primer. Once you get your hand primer, and if you get rifle brass, get a measuring set. It's called a caliper. Okay, a dial caliper. It will measure how long your brass case is. So if you get those, then at that point you can get new brass and new primers, and you can start down the road of at least priming new brass for your future reloading endeavors. And so that's what's going on. Hope this video is hope you enjoy it. It's kind of entertaining as well. I think I kind of was jaded or cynical that day. I don't know exactly what happened, but anyway, cool. Thanks. A very wonderful Sunday afternoon. The kids have wanted to just sit there and listen to their storybook. Pick up one of these with the little thing. It can very well be the first piece of equipment that you ever purchase, because you buy it and then you buy the components, and it will buy you time to start assembling your brass. Get Remington or CCI primers if you can for your new brass, because it's just a shade smaller. Winchester brass here, I think I had it. I don't like the sound. There is a difference between pistol and rifle primers, and there's a difference between small and large primers. So if you're the new guy that just got that, again, it's probably the first item that you can buy because it's among the cheapest. And what you can do after that is you can at least start priming brass if it's new brass. Get yourself some CCI primers or Remingtons, or what else do they use? But anyway, Winchester primers I usually save for well-used brass, because the primer pockets stretch up just a little bit on it. The Winchesters tend to fit a little bit snugly on new brass. Speaking of which, Starline, you are not making me thrilled and overjoyed and happy with your product right now, because while I'm doing this, I'm feeling very big inconsistencies in the primer pockets. See, this one's quite tight. It went in beautifully. And then there's others that will go in with nary an effort. See, there's one right there. I did one-handed, even on the tighter Winchester primers. Yeah, and that one needs two, and it was fairly stiff. That usually tends to tell me at least the inconsistencies are going to be, they're not, I don't find them as big of a deal on pistol primers and pistol brass, because one, it does last longer than rifles, and two, I'm not doing as much precision work at as long of a range. But Starline, check up on that. I realize we've gone through a rush for a couple of years now, but you were awesome. You are still really good, but please work on it. Yeah, it's a nice way if you got some extra time to get zen, and all you need, again, is a coffee can. Is a good place to dump them into. A very clean coffee can is a good place to dump them into. See, here's a good example. This one's even so tight at all. Should probably be wearing glasses. I'm sure I'm going to get trolled for that. Point it away from you, and then if it does pop a primer, at least the blast would be going away from you. Knock on wood, I have never had happen. Thousands and thousands of rounds primed and loaded that I have yet to have one go off. Even in that lock and load. They say that and the Dillon one are really bad, because those ones have a tube of primers, and you have to feed it from another tube and put this tube into that tube, and then you pull a pin and 100 primers go crashing down. Well, at the bottom is a very sudden stop, and primers are detonated by a very sudden impact. If there happens to be enough of a something or other down there, it will blow 100 primers through your ceiling. Also, it's usually, sometimes you'll get exactly 100, sometimes you get 102, 103. Rarely have I gotten under 100. I think I got 98 one time. The brass manufacturers tend to want to give you 1 or 2 extra, I think, in case that one of the brass gets dented or mangled or whatever, and then just to make sure that they have plenty in there for you. First piece of equipment you ever need to buy, or at least it gets you a start and you have a place to go when you get a real press or a press. And as far as presses, don't forget the hand press can be had with dies for under $100. It's really and it's a really good little setup for handgun or rifle. It does amazing. So we're just about out of primers, so I'm just gonna seeing if I run out of brass first or primers first. Actually, funny story with these. Okay, so I have 3 brass and I think I have 1 primer, maybe 2. This very bag, actually, I open this and I don't know what sort of brain cramp I was having, but I dumped all of those 100 unprimed brass into this one, which has like 300 primed brass. So it was an interesting issue digging them all out. First off, you go through, and it was easy because I dumped it in one side, so I just started scooping out. I got the first 75 back out. There's 100 in a bag. So at that point, I have to come over to the other table here and start scooping them all out, moving them into another coffee can, and you can separate the primed and start throwing them back into this coffee can, and yeah, 1 extra. So I ended up with 101 brass. There's always 100 primers in there. So thanks for the extra brass, Starline. Anyway, so it was a fun sorting experience. Made for a bit of a sore back. But anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day.